excited about bringing people to the wall that don't traditionally get to have their work out in the world and celebrated. And then not only putting them up in a little way, but putting them up really big. There needs to be some kind of balance or counter to how little representation so many of us have gotten in the art world and in the art scene historically. And how do we counter that? Well, let's start big. You know, it's not going to counter history, but it is going to start saying, no, these are the voices that we need heard, especially in this place. So those are the voices I want to celebrate and give them room to say what they need to say. Here's what you're doing. So wherever you see one of these is where we're gonna paint, okay? We're doing this project in the cafeteria of Green Central School in South Minneapolis in Central neighborhood, collaborating with a North Side artist, Jeremiah Bay. And we've been working with a group of middle school students to look at the history of the neighborhood and the history of the school and how it has looked, like what the demographic, what the face of Green School has looked like historically and what it looks like today. Who goes to Green Central today and how can we celebrate them and their culture and their identity. This is our sketch that we've been working on. You can see it's much loved. It has paint all over it because it's our one copy. We put it together in Photoshop of all of these photos that the students here took of Green Central students. And the butterflies kind of came in because they give it all movement and flow. And they also represent transformation. And they connect us in Minnesota to Mexico. The yellow goes here. These are actually Aztec patterns in the background, and these patterns are from the Ojibwe people here in Minnesota. So there's this connection because we have a huge Mexican population, Latino population at the school, between here and Mexico. We gridded it off in 5 by 5 foot sections and projected it up, and the kids traced up the projections, and then we started painting it in. So right now I'm working with students, and a lot of them have this idea that they can't paint, or that they start painting and they don't want to fail. Use this right here. Take a brush and put it right in this bucket. So a lot of my job is to kind of chalk out areas and say, here's your color, paint. Should I outline it? Or how can you make that same shape over here now? So starting kind of scaffold almost instruction of just warming people up to their capabilities. And if they have the confidence, they can push past the filling in the blanks kind of painting. I'm really interested in, when you walk into a space, what the space tells you about how you are supposed to be there. And I'm really excited about going into places that maybe are more rigid in how they greet you, and checking in and seeing, is this actually the behavior that this space is trying to nurture or supposed to be nurturing. So working a lot in schools, it's amazing to be like, how do you want the students to feel when they walk in? And what could the space be telling students about the behavior that's expected of them, and also the potential that they are being prepared for when they walk in this building. So already we see kids, it's like they walk into the cafeteria where we're doing this project around the mural, and they're like, this is a different zone. Like here, this is our space. This is my place, to the point that they let me paint the walls and they let me decide what's on the walls, because this is my space and it's for me, and it's suggesting what kind of learning or what kind of activity should happen in the space. Most of my projects start with kind of 3 main questions. So for example, if it's like just like your community mural that's about bringing together a community or a neighborhood, you might ask, what is community? What is it that makes this neighborhood this neighborhood? And these all start with conversations with these groups of people, and you're gonna see that even within such a simple question, everybody gets to voice their perspective. And within that conversation, people are hearing the differences, the different perspectives, and starting to see differently and opening up what their neighborhood looks like and what community might be for everybody. So the second question would be the problem. What are problems in your community? What are the things that aren't working? What are the disconnects? And then at the end it would be, what can you personally do to make positive change? What can we do as a group to make change? What is an action we can take? And this mural is not making the change. The mural is not making the change. The mural is making the connections and the relationships and standing as a suggestion of where this neighborhood or where this community is going. We are at Park Avenue Methodist Church, and we're going to be here painting a section of the big mural that we're installing this fall at Green Central School. So now we're taking what we did in the cafeteria and we're translating it into a bigger mural. This mural is all painted on strips of polytab that will then be adhered to the wall like permanent wallpaper. Mira, lo cortamos. I'm a South Minneapolis girl, born and raised kind of Powderhorn neighborhood area. These colors look so good. I came up in an amazing kind of golden era in the public school system, and I went to Ramsey International Fine Arts School. Let me show you what to paint, come on. What's your name?
Carlos.
Carlos? How old are you?
6.
We were, speaking Spanish in the classroom and taking violin lessons and painting on the walls and doing all these like paper mache projects, and that was really a natural part of kind of what my education had always as like there's always a component of art. Do you love painting or do you kind of hate painting?
I love.
Oh, awesome. And because I'm from Powderhorn neighborhood, I was around the Heart of the Beast and always participated in the May Day parades. So from really young, I saw art as something that offered a career for adults. I was surrounded by adults that were working as professional artists, and most of that art that they were making was with other people. So bringing in all these different hands, working with kids, working with families, working with neighborhoods. So that was just like a huge connection for me of this is the way that you build a community. This is the way you meet people, and this is something I'm really good at and excited about. Like, this is what makes me excited. I think it goes like this. Right here, there's some. I'll mark it for you. This. When I make something and it turns out different or better than I thought, or I do something that I didn't think I could do, like yesterday I drove the biggest truck I've ever driven, and I did it and I was successful, and I was just like jittery excited about my life after I did that. And that sense of discovery and doing something that you didn't think you were able to do, my work, when I bring people into projects, allows for them to also experience that feeling of discovery of, I'm able to do something. Like maybe, I didn't know I could paint and now I can paint, or maybe I didn't know I could meet my neighbors and now I know them and it feels different. And I am just jazzed like crazy about sharing that excitement and that enthusiasm for learning and continue learning and making together. And that, it's like a drug for me. I get so excited, like, let's make something. So, yeah, and it's really that sense of discovery. And I can do it. I didn't know I could.
Can I take a picture of you guys painting?